Should the Thunder go all in and make a godfather offer for Devin Booker? What's up, everybody? Welcome to Trade Machine Dolly. I'm Jacob Hollaball, the Salvador Dali of the Trade Machine, and I've painted an absolute masterpiece for you today. NBA Finals have kicked off, but while Boston and Dallas battle it out for the Larry O'Brien Trophy, the other 95+% of the league is already in full offseason mode, which means full roster reconstruction mode, which means trade season. Now, this offseason and trade season has all of the ingredients to be an all-timer, so it's only right that I kick things off with probably what's going to end up being my biggest, boldest, most blockbustery trade idea that I might end up having all summer long. We'll see if I can outdo it, but we're starting with a bang. Oklahoma City is sitting in one of the best positions I can remember any team in any sport ever being in. If they want to be the title favorites going into next year, they can be. They have the assets to make that happen. They've got the necessary number one guy in SGA. They've got tons of cap space, tons of draft picks, and a league full of intriguing pieces that could be added. There's a lot of people available out there for the right price, and they can pay any price that is necessary. If I'm in their position, I'm going big game hunting. I'm looking for that second big time star to pair with SGA right now. James Jones, pick up the phone because it's time to talk Devin Booker. Here's the trade. Phoenix sends Devin Booker to OKC. In return, OKC sends Phoenix Josh Giddey, Cason Wallace, Ousmane Dieng, and 4 first-round picks. Miami's top 14 protected 25 first, Philly's top 6 protected 25 first, Denver's top 5 protected 27 first, and Dallas's unprotected 28 first. That's right, OKC has so many first-round picks, they can send 4 without sending any of their own. For OKC, let's break down their side first. I know they need a big, and rebounding was their true weakness this postseason, but not far behind was the fact they needed a second reliable scorer and playmaker in crunch time next to SGA, and they didn't quite have it. I don't love the big name bigs that could be available, so I'm looking for that bona fide second scorer and star in Devin Booker, and I'll tack on a little bit later a solution for the big and the rebounding problem. Are Jalen and Chet awesome? Yes. Tons of promise, hitting all the checkpoints you'd want if you believe that they can be that second guy at some point in the future. But it's not guaranteed that comes next season or even the season after, and I don't see any reason to wait. Take advantage of 2 awesome guys having 2 seasons left on their rookie deals and let them grow as complementary stars. Sell the farm for Devin Booker. You get a guaranteed all-star, if not all NBA caliber player in the backcourt with SGA to top 15 players there. He's one of the best scorers in the league. Put him back in his natural off-ball true 2-guard position and let him cook. Now, some of you might be saying, what about the money here? This sounds expensive. This does use up a majority of their cap space, leaving $7.5 million going into next season. There's a version of this trade where maybe OKC asked to include Kenny Hustle, Kenrich Williams, adding another $6.5 million back to their cap, but we're still talking either way about being under the cap with a lineup of SGA, Booker, Dort, Jalen, and Chet. And Jalen and Chet have 2 seasons until their extensions kick in, so you've got time to figure out how a historically cheap OKC will navigate that. If they don't want to pay the tax in the future, they'll have to figure out who they can get rid of, but they've got 2 years to figure that out, or to just, buck up and pay the bill. I want that closing lineup. I'm using that little cap space left to, offer to a veteran big. I'm purposely keeping the 12th pick in this draft so that I can go after a Zach Edey. And I'm going into next season as the on-paper favorites to win the title. Now let's talk Phoenix's side. You've got to blow it up. You're way over the second apron with the team that's going to struggle to make the play-in next year in the West that somehow will get even better than it was this year. Wemby didn't make the playoffs this year. He's in year 2. Memphis didn't make the playoffs and has all their guys back from a former top 3 seed, and Houston continues to build. Okay, the West is going to be insane next year, and this team is going to struggle to stay out of or even get into the play-in. No one has taken Bradley Beal. You're stuck with him for that contract, or at least until he could prove he could still play basketball for a couple months in a row at a high enough level to maybe make a desperate contender consider it. Odds are low. Durant's too old for a good enough return to just trade him and somehow come out of it a contender. So that leaves Booker. who I know it hurts to give up. He's your franchise guy, but he's 27. And in the best case rebuilding scenario around him, he would be what, 30, 31, 32 by the time you've got a new contender level roster built out? It's not going to happen. So get rid of him. Bring in Josh Giddey, has tons of promise left. He just has to learn or rediscover how to shoot. That would be good. Or be on the court with a bunch of flamethrowers. And if there was ever a situation where he could unlock his best self, it's with Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant, Grayson Allen spreading the floor for him, his size, his vision, those three around him. I like what could happen. Cason Wallace showed out in the playoffs. He's honestly the prize of this haul, at least in probably the eyes of the Thunder front office and the fan base. He's got all the signs of a future all-defensive caliber player and plenty enough offensive flashes to believe you're getting a really good starting caliber player a couple years down the road. And then Ousmane Dieng, the one total question mark here, a flyer, if you will, but a lot of upside there, and we've just got no idea. It could look amazing. It could be nothing at all, but it definitely could be amazing. It's just there's no time on an OKC roster full of young, high upside players for this guy to have gotten much run in the last 2 seasons. So I like taking the chance there. That's 3 solid young players, 4 first-round picks, including 2 in next year's loaded 25 draft class. So you get some guys in right away, and suddenly rosters revamped, trade coffers are restocked, and all avenues are open back up to you. If you want to see if a Giddey, Beal, Durant, Nurkic lineup with Cason, Dieng, and some vet minimum signings can compete for the playoffs next year, great, go for it. If you want to follow this trade up with the KD trade, try to get another player, a couple picks, fantastic. Grayson Allen could be a very attractive piece at next year's trade deadline. Maybe Beal resuscitates himself enough to eventually move him too. You could continue the rebuild. You could give this roster a try. Either way, you have all paths open again instead of one horrible path that you're currently walking. And that's because I'm burying the lead here. I probably don't have you convinced yet. Maybe 3 players, 4 picks. Sounds nice. Giving up the franchise player nice, though. I don't know. Here's the real win. How's $130 million saved sound? Because yes, you heard me correctly. $130 million would be saved because of this trade. $30 million knocked off their cap this year, bringing them within $5 million of getting all the way back under the cap. And with that $30 million saved comes another $100 million saved in tax penalty. Matt Ishbia paid a boatload for this team and went all in. It didn't work. And the idea of paying a $100 million tax bill for a team struggling to make the play-in game is nightmare fuel. Save the money for the next iteration of the team, overcome the new owner syndrome, and do the smart thing. Make this trade, you're welcome. So again, to recap, Booker to OKC, Giddey, Wallace, Dieng, and 4 firsts to Phoenix, plus $130 million in combined savings. If you had to push for a 5th draft pick, probably could get it done. If you had to push on the OKC side for Kenrich Williams to be included to keep enough cap space to be able to go out and make an offer to a Nick Claxton type, you definitely could probably make that happen. I love this trade idea. I haven't heard it mentioned anywhere else. So let me know what you think. Comment below. Tell me why I'm either insane, a genius, somewhere in between, how you would tweak it, what you would do if you were Sam Presti and you wanted to make OKC next year's on-paper title favorites. What's your move? If you've also got Sam Presti's phone number, by the way, feel free to text him the link to this video. That would be pretty awesome. And be sure to hit that subscribe button because we've got a lot of big trade ideas coming over the next few weeks. Trade season's upon us. Enjoy, everyone.